There have always been rich men in history, kings who owned continents, empires built on gold, oil, and power. From Mansa Musa, whose wealth was so vast it disrupted entire economies, to John D. Rockefeller, who controlled the lifeblood of industrial America. But none of them ever came close to $1 trillion, not even remotely. And now, for the first time in human history, we are watching a single individual approach that number in real time. Not a king, not a government, not a nation. One man, Elon Musk. Right now, as of 2026, Musk's net worth is hovering between $850 billion and $900 billion. That number alone is almost impossible to comprehend. It's larger than the GDP of entire countries. It's more wealth than the combined fortunes of tech giants like Mark Zuckerberg, Larry Page, and Sergey Brin. And here's the real shock. Just 6 years ago, he was worth $27 billion. That's not growth. That's an explosion. A 3,600% increase in wealth in less than a decade, which raises a question no one in history has ever asked before. What happens when one man becomes a trillionaire? But this story isn't just about money, it's about power. Because Elon Musk isn't building one company. He's building a system that controls transportation, energy, communication, artificial intelligence, and possibly even another planet. Let's start with the foundation, because before rockets, before AI, before Mars, there was one company that changed everything: Tesla. Tesla was never just a car company. That's the first mistake most people make. When people look at Tesla, they see electric vehicles, but Musk sees something else entirely: a platform, a system powered by artificial intelligence, automation, and robotics. And now in 2026, Tesla is entering what Musk calls its next phase, the AI chapter. At the center of this chapter is something that sounds almost like science fiction: Optimus, a humanoid robot designed not just to assist humans, but to replace labor entirely. Musk has made a bold claim that Optimus could eventually account for 80% of Tesla's total value. Think about that for a second. Not cars, not batteries, not software, but robots. If the market believes this vision, Tesla doesn't just remain a trillion-dollar company, it becomes a multi-trillion-dollar AI powerhouse. And if Tesla's valuation climbs to $2 trillion, or even $3 trillion, Musk's compensation plan, often called the Mars Shot Package, could unlock over $100 billion in additional wealth almost instantly. Not earned over years, not slowly accumulated, unlocked, like flipping a switch. But Tesla alone doesn't make Elon Musk a trillionaire. The real acceleration comes from space. Because while the world was focused on electric cars, Musk was quietly building the most valuable private company in history: SpaceX. SpaceX started as a risky bet, a company that nearly went bankrupt, a vision that most experts laughed at. But today, it's something entirely different. Because SpaceX is no longer just a rocket company, it's a global infrastructure network. And at the center of that network is Starlink, a satellite internet system that now serves millions of users worldwide. In 2025 alone, Starlink surpassed 4 million subscribers and generated an estimated $16 billion in revenue. Let that sink in. A company that started by launching rockets is now competing with telecom giants across the globe. And unlike traditional internet providers, Starlink doesn't rely on cables. It doesn't rely on local infrastructure. It operates from space, which means it can reach anywhere, every country, every ocean, every remote village. This isn't just a business, it's control over global communication. And then, in 2026, Musk made a move that changed everything. A move that most people still don't fully understand. SpaceX merged with his artificial intelligence company, xAI. This wasn't just a merger, it was the creation of something new, a super entity. A company that combines rockets, satellites, global internet, and artificial intelligence all into one system. The valuation? $1.25 trillion, privately, before even going public. And Musk owns around 43% of it, which means this single entity alone is worth over $500 billion to him. Halfway to $1 trillion from one company. Now think about the implications. A system where AI controls the data, Starlink distributes it globally, SpaceX launches and maintains the infrastructure. This isn't just vertical integration, this is total integration. A closed loop of technology that feeds itself. And then comes the biggest catalyst of all. The event that could change everything overnight, the SpaceX IPO. Rumors suggest that SpaceX could go public in 2026, with a valuation as high as $1.75 trillion. If that happens, it wouldn't just be the largest IPO in history. It would instantly reprice Musk's wealth. Because public markets don't value companies the same way private markets do. They add a premium, a visibility boost, a liquidity surge. And if SpaceX reaches that valuation, Musk's net worth could jump by hundreds of billions in a matter of days, not years, days. But this is where the story becomes unpredictable, because wealth at this scale isn't stable. It's volatile, extremely volatile. Take one small example, Bitcoin. In March 2026, it was revealed that SpaceX holds around 8,285 Bitcoin. Now, compared to Musk's total wealth, that's relatively small, around $500 to $600 million. But it connects his empire to something else, the crypto market, a market known for extreme swings. And at Musk's level, even small percentage changes can mean tens of billions gained or lost. Then there's politics. Musk's growing influence in government circles, particularly his involvement with the second administration of Donald Trump, has created what analysts call a political premium. Investors see his alignment with power as a positive. It opens doors, accelerates approvals, expands influence, but it also creates risk. Because political winds change. And when they do, that same connection can turn into a liability. Regulators could target Starlink. Governments could push back on global dominance. Antitrust investigations could reshape entire industries. And at Musk's scale, even a single regulatory decision can erase $100 billion in value. But there's one risk bigger than all of them. A risk no one talks about enough. It's called key man risk. What happens if Elon Musk steps down? Or worse, what happens if he's no longer able to lead? Unlike traditional corporations, Musk's companies are deeply tied to him personally, his vision, his decisions, his risk tolerance. Remove Musk, and the system changes. Investors know this. Markets react to this because at the end of the day, this isn't just an empire. It's a founder-driven empire. And yet, despite all these risks, the probability of Musk becoming a trillionaire is rising. Prediction markets estimate a 75 to 78% chance that he crosses that line before the end of 2026. Think about that. A number that once seemed impossible is now considered likely. But here's the deeper question, and it's the one that matters more than the trillion itself. What does it mean? Because $1 trillion isn't just wealth. It's influence. It's control. It's the ability to shape industries, economies, even governments. When one individual controls systems that power, transportation, energy, communication, artificial intelligence, that individual doesn't just participate in the world, they help define it. And that's what makes Elon Musk different from every billionaire before him. Jeff Bezos built e-commerce. Bill Gates built software. But Musk, he's building infrastructure. The kind of infrastructure that operates beneath everything else. Electric grids, global internet, autonomous machines, space transportation, and possibly, one day, an entire civilization on Mars. So will Elon Musk become the world's first trillionaire? If you look at the numbers, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. But the real story isn't the trillion, it's what comes after. Because once $1 trillion is reached, it won't be the end of the journey. It will be the beginning of something far bigger, a new era, where wealth isn't just measured in money, but in systems, in control, in reach. And in that world, the question won't be, who is the richest man alive? It will be, who controls the future?